My name is Jocelyn, and I am a member of Les Touches Viol Consort. So I first started getting into the viol da gamba in 2020, right at the height of the pandemic. I was actually looking for a hobby while I was finishing up my studies as a medical student, and I decided to look for opportunities for learning the viol da gamba here in Houston, and that's when I found Viols of Houston. I started with my lessons with Pedro, another fellow member of Les Touches, starting with the tenor viol. I stuck with my lessons and I ended up attending regular reading sessions with Viols of Houston. I ended up really liking the instrument a lot, and since then I ended up picking up the bass viol, and I recently also picked up the treble viol. So I perform all of them in public, so yeah. So initially when I first started playing in a consort, so I was initially interested primarily in solo French repertoire, such as with Mauret. That was pretty much the material that I listened to when I first learned about the viol da gamba, and that was actually my original intentions to learn more about that repertoire. I ended up, like I said, with attending regular reading sessions with Viols of Houston. As I attended more and more of those, I actually appreciated the social aspect of the consort, and I really enjoyed playing with other members who had similar goals in early music. Another thing, as a relative newcomer to the practice of early music compared to other members, I had the opportunity to learn more about the practice of early music and historical performance in a consort. Growing up, my biggest musical influences, I would say, were my two music teachers when I was finishing up high school in Shreveport, Louisiana. Dr. Gay Gross was my piano teacher, who is faculty at Centenary College, and Janice Teague, who is a member of the Shreveport Symphony Orchestra. I really owe a lot of my development as a musician and a lot of my interest in becoming a musician, even if that was from different instruments. I owe a lot of it to both of my teachers from that time. Interestingly enough, the treble viol has been my favorite viol to play so far. It was even though it was the most recent and I've had probably the shortest amount of time with it, the main things that I say the treble viol would be because its smaller size makes for much more ease with shifting from different positions, and I just have an appreciation for how its higher register really sings. I would say in particular, compared to other ensemble traditions, the particular thing that makes consort music unique from, I guess, from other European ensemble traditions would be that each instrument, each viol has an equal importance, particularly with handling the main idea and passing it from one viol to the other. This is especially inherent with the tradition of Renaissance polyphony. A particular performance that I think is particularly meaningful for me was when we were doing our performances for the Houston Public Library. That was actually the very first time that I had actually performed voice and viol repertoire, and that honestly was my first time using my vocals outside of singing with my church choir while also undergoing formal vocal training. I really appreciate the blend of both the voice and the viol, and I find that the viol provides quite a consistent continuo to accompany and support the voice. Probably one of the moments that really was unexpected for me was in particular I would say one of the most unexpected moments of performing with Les Touches definitely was a lot of the feedback that our group got from our voice and viol presentations. I actually was very surprised at how well received my voice was. I find it particularly, I guess sometimes it's not as traditional for someone who is feminine presenting to present themselves with a tenor voice, and I actually was quite unexpected that most of our audience members actually were very appreciative of having the opportunity to hear my tenor in this kind of presentation. So we have quite an extensive performance season coming up this spring. We have 2 church concerts and have different appearances with the Houston Public Library again. I think the one that I am most excited to work on is for our English program. That's the one where I'll be singing 5 different pieces, which I have to say is probably the most use that I have had for my voice outside of singing with my church choir. But I'm really appreciating the diversity in the pieces and the presentations that I've been working on, and I'm honestly very looking forward to sharing my voice in presentation with the rest of my group. There are a lot of musicians actually that I would like to collaborate with one day if I could. There's one individual in particular. His name is Renato Grieco, who is a gambist from Naples. I see his content regularly on Instagram and also have been listening to his music on Bandcamp. I really appreciate how he presents the viola da gamba, especially from a contemporary space, and also the different performance spaces that he presents his compositions and arrangements in. I really appreciate how he curates these breathtaking spaces for them, particularly with a lot of the reverberance and just the very delicate nature of the gamba as well too, and also with some of the vocalists that he has collaborated with. It'd be interesting to also be able to work with him if that ever did happen, whether it be also with the viol or also with my own vocals.